mentioned to you that when we make decisions, we have what we call initial estimates of the probability coming from uh, historical data or our own subjective experience. No? We call these probabilities as prior probabilities. Okay, prior probabilities, unrefined. But sometimes the decisions we have to make involve uh, expansion, it involves purchase of another existing company, it involves buying a machine worth more than 50 million pesos. It involves life or death in the prescription of a treatment method. Um, Sometimes big decisions like those that I just mentioned require us to stop for a while and not to just rely on our initial estimates of the probabilities of the events or the states of nature. Kasi life or death eh. Or kaya we're talking about hundreds of millions of pesos no to be wasted if we make the wrong decision. So therefore, it calls for us to make decisions with additional experimentation. Okay? What does experimentation do for a company or for a person trying to make a scientific decision? Okay? Experimentation simply provides additional information. And every time we have additional information, we make ourselves, we put ourselves in a better position to make a more informed and a better decision. Okay? So, for example, ang question dito is this: where do we get additional information? Okay? Where do we get this? Meron naman tayong historical data, meron naman tayong experience natin. Bakit kailangan natin ng additional information? Sometimes uh, we will tap the experience of the experts in the field uh, to make uh, or to create or to develop new information for us. For example, if you need to advertise your products now, kunyari meron kayong bagong produkto, if you need to advertise your products now, perhaps you have experience already advertising previous products of yours in media, be it in social media or mainstream media, you have experience na. So alam mo kung saan siya mas bebenta. Okay? But the problem is you're not the expert. You don't have a lot of information for you to work with. Ang meron ka lang information is information on your own products which you tried to advertise in different media in the past. Okay? Pero, sino kaya ang may hawak ng mas malawak na information? Hindi lang yung produkto mo. Okay? Sino kaya ang uh, mas authority when it comes to advertising? Sino lalapitan mo for additional information if launching this product would mean you will have to spend hundreds of millions of pesos? Okay? Ayaw mo masayang yon. So you would tap the experts to study and analyze the market for you. Okay? Get what I mean? So for certain decisions no, na limited ang information mo, like in this example, you may want to tap the expertise of advertising agencies or market survey consulting companies. Diba? Kasi yung mga companies na yan, they have worked with dozens or even hundreds of organizations dealing with the same thing. Okay? New product launches, advertising, etc. Ang dami na nilang experience, much more than your experience with your own products. And therefore, if you are to come to them, if you are to pay them to give you additional information whether your product launch will be a success or a failure, they would be in a better position to tell you. Okay? Kapag a failure yan, mas maganda ilagay mo sa ganitong medium of advertisement. Instagram and Facebook may not really work. Okay? Kailangan dito mo siya ilagay. And in what manner. Okay? So, getting additional information may be worthwhile if you will not spend too much money to get that information. Remember, kapag mag-tap ka ng advertising agents or tap ka ng mga survey, market research companies to do it, they will charge you. Okay, they will charge you a certain fee. And it is because of that fee that we would have to make careful decisions sa umpisa pa lang kung kukuha ba tayo ng additional information o hindi. So having said all of that, naintindihan ba yung example ko? Class, naintindihan ba yung example ko?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Brian. How about the rest? Naintindihan ba?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So ito yung nangyayari. Okay? Decision making with experimentation. Meron na tayo kasing probabilities sa mga events natin. Yung sa track, sa track example. Ayan na, ayan na yung mga probabilities. Kaso, etong probabilities na to, yung 0.2, 0.35, 0.3, tsaka 0.15 na yan, nanggaling lang yan sa atin, sa data natin, sa experience natin, etc. Okay? We might want to refine these probabilities. Okay? I-refine natin ito by seeking the help of an expert. Okay? Maybe yung mga nasa business of the same business as you, or yung mga companies na talagang napag-aralan yung market demand ng mga furnitures. Okay? We may seek their help. Okay? Para ma-refine natin yung probabilities na yan. Okay. First term that you need to understand, etong mga probabilities na to, these are called prior probabilities. Okay? Ang tawag dyan, sa column na yan, itong f of z na to, okay? These are prior probabilities. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga probabilities na hindi pa nare-refine. Okay? Ito yung mga original estimate probabilities natin. So, anong sinasabi dito sa right side? Sabi dito, in some situations, lalo na yung mga life or death situations or big investments, it may be viable to secure additional information in order to revise the original estimates of the probability of occurrence of the events. Okay? Ito yung original estimate natin, class. Ito yung original estimate. Yan yung tinatawag natin prior probabilities. So now, we have two things that we want to study. First is what we call pre-posterior analysis. Okay? Ang pre-posterior analysis, as I've said, we have to make a decision. Is it worthwhile for us to get additional information knowing that we have to pay a company or an expert in order to get this additional information? Worthwhile ba? So, ang pre-posterior analysis considers the question of deciding whether or not it would be worthwhile to get that additional information. Okay? Worthwhile ba yan? So for us to be able to answer this question and decide, we need to compute. Later on, i-introduce ko to sa inyo before we leave. ENGS. Ang ibig sabihin ng ENGS, that is the expected net gain or net benefit from sampling. So expected net gain will tell us, would it be worthwhile for us to conduct additional sampling to get additional information? If this value is greater than 0, okay, greater than 0, ibig sabihin, worthwhile. It's worth it to get additional information. Pero if the value of ENGS is less than 0, then it's not worthwhile. I'll go to this in greater detail in a while. Okay? But pre-posterior analysis considers the question of worthwhile or not. And then kapag pumasa ka dito, Pag pumasa ka sa pre-posterior analysis, then we proceed to what we call posterior analysis. Yung posterior analysis naman is the same as what we're doing here. Base, pareho lang. Except that we are now going to make a decision or an optimal choice based on what we call posterior probabilities. Okay? So, posterior analysis deals with the optimal choice or the optimal action, okay? Optimal choice or action after getting the results of an experiment or after getting additional information. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, mamimili na tayo kung anong action ang iti-take natin after we get additional information. Kaya, ang requirement is dapat pumasa sa pre-posterior analysis. Okay? Worthwhile ba? And to answer whether worthwhile, ito yung i-compute natin, yung ENGS, dapat greater than 0. Pag greater than 0 yan, then, gagawin natin, i-revise natin itong mga probabilities dito. From prior probabilities, gagawin nating posterior probabilities. Okay? Pag may posterior probabilities na tayo, then same principle, base rule pa rin ang gagamitin natin para makapaggawa tayo ng optimal decision choice. Okay? So, decision making with experimentation, the end goal is really to calculate the posterior probabilities so that we can make a posterior analysis. Is that understood? So, I will proceed. Okay? Na-define ko na to. Prior probabilities, ito yon, yung mga original estimates natin, initial probabilities without experimentation. And then, posterior probabilities, ito yung goal natin. This is the goal. Okay, that's the goal. How do we now compute the revised or the improved probability values after getting information? Ito yun. This is how we compute it. Okay? So, for you to understand this slide, you have to remember that this one, okay, this one is known. Alam na natin yan. Yung prior probability estimate ng bawat event, ito yon. Okay? Alam na natin yan. That's given. Okay? Next, conditional probability of experimental outcome. Ito. Alam din dapat natin ito. Explain ko to sa inyo. Ha? This is ano ba ito? Okay. Ito yon. Explain ko to kung ano to. Yung capital letter Z, okay, capital letter Z is your experimental outcome or your survey results. Okay? Survey results. This is a conditional probability. It tells you the probability of a particular outcome given a particular event. Okay? Balik tayo dito ha, balik tayo. So, event 1, itong event 1 na to, kung babalikan niyo yung Blackwood problem ninyo, event 1 is low sales. Okay, low sales yan. Okay? So, let's say, I paid an information agency to tell me exactly whether furniture sales in the next 6 months will be favorable or not for the industry. Okay? Babayaran ko or itong information agency na to research on the furniture industry just to tell me, okay, ano ba ang outlook ng furniture market? Okay? Good or bad? So, of course, dalawa lang naman ang possible results na ibabalik sa akin itong information agency na to. Pwedeng sabihin niya sa akin na okay, nag-research na kami sa market, mukhang maganda ang result ng survey namin. Okay? So, let's say that the experimental outcome for this problem is either good or bad. Okay, good or bad. So, the probability na good siya given that after you made a decision, low yung sales. Class, do you still hear me? Nag-unstable kasi yung connection.
Yes.
Do you still hear me, class?
Medyo choppy lang po, sir.
Opo, sir.
Saan umpisa naging choppy? Doon sa example ko, information agency?
Yes, sir.
Okay, clear na ngayon?
Clear na po.
Okay, so balikan ko yung example ko. Kailangan maintindihan nyo to ha. Itong capital letter Z na nakikita nyo sa right side ng screen niyo, itong binibilugan ko ngayon. Okay, conditional probability kasi ito eh. Okay? So, ang sinasabi lang ng capital letter Z is that if you pay an information agency, it will come back to you with the results of their market survey. Yung additional information na binabayaran mo o hinihingi mo sa kanila, ibabalik nila sa iyo yan. Sasabihin lang nila sa iyo, okay, nag-survey na kami sa market, okay, at dahil expert sila doon sa furniture industry, sabihin nila, oh, ang outlook for the next 6 months is very good. Okay, very good yung outlook. So now, when you calculate the probability that the outcome of the survey will show it's very good, okay, given that the event E1 actually happened after you made a decision. E1 is low yung sales eh, di ba? Low yung sales ng furniture mo. Okay? Low yung sales. So, ibig sabihin, may mali doon sa outcome, tama? Kasi ang sinabi niya sa iyo, very good yung outlook ng sales. Tapos ang nangyari, yung condition na nangyari is that ang baba ng sales. Anong masasabi mo doon sa result? Kapag nangyari yon, inaccurate, di ba? Inaccurate or unreliable, tama? Inaccurate or unreliable. Kasi sabi ng result, very good yung outlook pero low yung nangyari. Pero paano naman kapag ang nangyari is event 4? Ang event 4 is high sales eh. Okay? Tapos ang additional information na binigay sa iyo, yung outcome ng market research, sabi very good. So the probability na very good given na ang nangyari is high sales is an indication that the survey results are actually accurate and reliable. Tama ba?
Yes po.
Tama, di ba? Okay. So if you understood that example, then this probability here, Z given the event or phi, Z given phi, is actually an indication of reliability of experimental outcome. Okay? It's an indication of the reliability of experimental outcome. Now, I'm checking it. Okay? Bakit ko chine-check? Kasi when you do experimentation, okay, as a decision maker, kapag ka nag-decide ka na kukuha ka ng additional information, number one, you know, wait lang ha. Number one, you know the prior probabilities already. Itong P sub J. Alam mo na yan. Kaya check. Number two, if you tap an information agency or if you tap a market research company or if you tap an advertising agency or a survey agency to get additional information for you, chances are, with their vast experience in doing these activities, in collecting information, they already know the accuracy of their respective surveys or experiments or lab tests. Alam na nila yon. Do you agree? if you happen to own an advertising agency, day in and day out, you work on advertising different products in different media. So you would know already from experience kung sinabi ng research mo na mag-click yung product na yan, more or less reliable yung result niyan. You would already know the reliability. Agree or disagree?
Agree po.
Last, do you agree?
Agree po.
Kasi ano mo yan eh, kumbaga core competency ng company mo yan eh. So dapat alam mo kung ano reliability mo. Di ba? In much the same way as if you're teaching, if you're in the teaching profession, dapat more or less alam mo kung ano yung batting average mo when it comes to students learning from you or students passing your course. Diba? Alam mo na yan kasi craft mo yan. Okay? And therefore, I would say, for example, this is a siguro more relatable example for you. Malapit na yung election. Okay? Malapit na yung election. If you happen to be running for political office in 2022, okay? Napapansin niyo pagka election time, ang daming advertisement sa TV, di ba? Okay? Tapos, kapag malapit na yung election, lumalabas yung mga tinatawag nilang SWS polls or surveys kung sino yung number 1, sino yung leading sa senatorial race, sino yung top 12, sino yung top 24. Napapansin niyo ba yun in the previous years sa TV? Or you were still too young then?
Napapansin naman po.
Nakikita nyo, di ba? So, sino ba ang nagbabayad to get information about this? Definitely, merong strategist ng politician ang nagbabayad to get additional information from the SWS survey. Okay? And marami tayong mga survey agencies dyan that charge a significant amount of money to conduct surveys on 1,200 Filipinos just to know the pulse, no, kung sino yung iboboto nila. And politicians rely so much on the results of this survey, okay, para malaman nila kung anong strategy ang gagawin nila in the next few weeks or months. Okay? Yan ang isang example na itong mga survey agencies na to, alam na nila kung anong reliability ng survey nila. Pag sinabi nilang at this stage, you're running number 8, malaki ang chance mo na papasok ka sa top 12. Okay? They already know that from all the previous surveys that they have conducted in all the elections that they have gone through. Nakukuha nyo yung sinasabi ko? So therefore, itong reliability of experimental outcome or survey outcome is already a given. Okay? Alam na natin yan. So now that we know the prior probability and the reliability of the experimental outcome, what we will do is to use these two, itong dalawang naka-check na to, gagamitin natin yan in order to compute this conditional probability, which is the event, probability of the event given that you have the additional information already. Okay? So, ang assumption ngayon dito, sa nakabilog na to, is that you are taking the additional information and you are able to revise your probabilities of the events using this additional information. We call this now the posterior probability, which is, as I've said, the goal of decision-making with experimentation. Okay? So, ano inputs natin to compute posterior probability? Ang inputs natin is the prior probability, ito, at saka yung reliability na usually manggagaling doon sa information agency na tinatap natin to get additional information for us. Okay? So now, if I move on, okay, so nabanggit ko na yan, the idea is to calculate the posterior probabilities by combining the prior probabilities and the conditional probabilities of the experimental outcome, ZK. Okay? So, gagamitin natin itong dalawang to, we will combine these two to calculate this one, the posterior probability. Okay? So, how? How to calculate? Ito yung gagamitin nating formula. So, again, kung nahirapan kayo sa Eng.1, this is simply conditional probability formula, no? Kung naalala nyo, A given B is equal to A intersection B all over the probability of B. So, since ang posterior probability, babalik ko lang sandali, ang posterior probability is a conditional probability, okay? Probability of the event given the experimental outcome. Then, since it's a conditional probability event given the experimental outcome, then you just get the intersection of the event and the experimental outcome, ito yun, divided by the probability of the experimental outcome. Okay? How to do this, how to solve for this, I will show you in an example next meeting. Kasi alam ko hindi na aabot today. Okay? But just hold your imagination for a while. For this one today, I just need you to know and understand that whenever I am a decision maker and I decide to get additional information through experiments or surveys, I should have the reliability of these experimental outcomes, and I should have the prior probabilities for me to be able to calculate the posterior probability. Posterior meaning the refined probabilities I will use in making a posterior analysis or decision making. Okay, so moving forward, okay, so once the posterior probabilities are calculated, the original problem becomes a sequential DT problem. As I've said earlier, the first stage of the sequential problem is the decision of whether to perform, worthwhile ba to perform additional experimentation. Pag pumasa sa first stage, okay, pumasa sa first stage, then you go to the second stage. Once this is decided, the outcomes of the experiment are considered together with the original set of decision alternatives and events. Ibig sabihin, pag pumasa ka sa first stage, pupunta ka na sa second stage, yung tinatawag nating posterior analysis using posterior probabilities. And then, just follow the base rule, just like this, katulad nito, follow the base rule, okay, in making a decision. Okay, so for our session today, before we end, I need to discuss with you the EPPI, certain terminologies lang, no? EPPI, EBPI, EP. Okay, ito, alam na natin to. Expected profit. Ito yon. Ito yung expected profit. Okay, ano ba yung expected profit using a perfect information source? Okay, so ibabalik ko kayo dito. Okay, sa table. Okay, so look here. So, if you have a perfect information source, you would know exactly what event will happen and therefore what alternative you will choose if that event happens. Agree? So, kunyari, if you have an information agency that can tell you exactly, okay, kapag bumili ka ng truck, sigurado yan, low sales ang mangyayari. Okay? Pag may magsasabi sa inyo na look here, right side of left side of your screen, okay? If may nagsabi sa inyo, perfect information source ito, okay, hindi siya magkakamali. Pag may nagsabi sa inyo na mababa ang sales outlook ng furniture sa market in the next 6 months, you would know exactly what alternative to choose, tama ba? By looking at this payoff table, pipiliin mo yung alternative 1. Class, tama ba? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes, sir.
a perfect information source tells you that there will be low sales, you would definitely choose A1 kasi it has the highest profit. Okay, 20. If the perfect information source tells you that medyo lang, moderately low yung sales ng furniture in the market, you would know that the highest profit if this event happens is 25, and therefore you will choose alternative 2. Correct? Same principle. If information source, perfect information source tells you that moderately high yung ano natin, yung event na mangyayari after we make a decision, alam natin na alternative 3. Kung sana may perfect information source lang, okay, Sky, you can go ahead. Kung sana may information source lang, alam sana natin na alternative 3 ang pipiliin. Kung alam nating high ang sales, alam din natin alternative 3 ang pipiliin. Is this clear? So, all of these selections that I'm showing you right now, okay, itong mga nakabilog, are hinged on the fact that you have a provider of perfect information. Okay? So, if you have that, then given these selections, itong mga nakabilog, you would now be able to calculate what we call expected profit. Expected profit pa rin kasi may probability ang bawat bawat event na mangyayari. Expected profit of perfect information from a perfect information source. Okay? And what is that expected profit? Alam natin that if event 1 happens, your profit, you will choose alternative 1. Okay, you will choose alternative 1 and your profit will be 20. The probability of that, kaya nga expected profit kasi may probability yung mga profit values na yan. Pag nangyari yung low, your profit will be 20. And the probability of low, ano ba yung given ko kanina? 0.2. Okay? Pag nangyari naman yung event 2, the probability is 0.35. Ang profit mo, ang pipiliin mo is alternative 2, and that profit is 25. Okay? So, the probability that you will have a profit of 25 is the probability of event 2, which is 0.35. Okay? Continue. Pag nangyari, if you have a perfect information that tells you this will happen, okay, the profit that you will have will be 30. Okay? Basta't maximum profit under each column. Okay? And that has a probability of 0.3. If you're wondering where I'm getting 0.2, 0.35, 0.3, yan yung probabilities doon sa base rule na ginamit natin. Okay? And then finally, this one, you will have a profit of 40 with a probability of 0.15 if this event happens. Okay? So that's how you compute the expected profit of perfect information. Okay? Using perfect information. And you will see that yung profit, I'll move the screen. Yung profit natin kanina, using base rule, this one ito yung base rule. Yung profit natin kanina, the best profit is 18.35. Dito sa base rule calculation natin na ito, itong calculation natin, this one, okay, wala tayong additional information na kinuha dito. We just relied on prior probabilities, okay, or our initial estimates. And the best profit that we got was 18.35. Okay? But with perfect information daw sana, can you calculate? I think this one will come up to be 27.75. If you had perfect information with which you can make a decision from, then your expected profit would now increase to 27.75. So mayroon na tayo ngayong expected profit of perfect information. So itong EVPI naman is yung value. Ano yung value of getting perfect information? Ano yung value of paying someone to get this information for you? Okay? So the formula for EVPI is simply equal to EPPI minus EP. Okay, and that is equal to 27.75, which is this one, minus EP, yung expected profit natin kanina without additional information is 18.35. So, tingnan natin, EVPI is equal to 9.4. Okay, 9.4. Let's say our data is in millions. Okay, sabi ng expected value of perfect information is 9.4 million daw yung value ng perfect information for the decision maker. Okay? That means that if I do not get additional information, the maximum profit I can achieve in this decision problem is 18.35. Ito yun, 18.35. Pag kumuha ako ng perfect information source to help me in my decision making, ang expected profit ko is higher. It's 27.75. Now, the difference, 9.4 million, okay, actually can be seen as a measure of the maximum amount that you should be willing to pay to get that, in fact, not additional, no, to get that perfect information in helping you to select an alternative. Nakuha nyo? So, if for example, information agency ako, tapos nilapitan nyo ako, okay, itong tracking problem na to, nilapitan nyo ako, okay, tapos sabi nyo, I want a very sure information about sales in the coming 6 months for furniture. And then I said, okay, I can get perfect information for you, but I will charge you 15 million pesos. Kasi matrabaho yan. And I will be risking my reputation kapag nagkamali ako in getting that perfect information for you. Okay? I charge you 15 million. So if you are the decision maker, having this as your input, itong calculation na to, itong EVPI, EVPI tells you that yung value of getting that perfect information is just 9.4 million. Now, if you spend 15 million, then ibig sabihin, malulugi ka pa. Naintindihan nyo?
Yes, sir.
Diba? You will not spend more than the value of getting that perfect information. Pag ako, sinabi ko sa'yo, sige, I'll charge you 3 million. Okay? And then therefore, if you look at your EVPI, 9.4 million to eh. Diba? Yung value ng perfect information. Kapag magbayad ako ng 3 million, meron pa akong 6.4 million na matitirang profit, pero sure ako. Okay? Pero sure ako. Diba? So, again, EVPI, the calculation of EVPI becomes a basis for making decision whether to get a perfect information source or not. But in reality, class, wala namang perfect information source eh. Okay? Meron tayong sample information source, okay, which is also imperfect. Okay? And hence, we have this. Last na to, last slide. Kanina, remember, I showed you pre-posterior analysis. Ginagamit natin to sa pre-posterior analysis to decide whether or not to get additional information. Okay? So we use this to decide. So therefore, if ENGS is greater than 0, go. If less than 0, do not get additional information. So the question now is, what is the formula for ENGS? So we go to the next slide. Ito yung formula. Just like the expected profit, no? This time, kailangan ko i-compute yung EVSI. Okay? So EVSI, parang EVPI lang yan. Di ba? So sulat ko sa taas. EVPI is equal to EPPI minus expected profit. Okay? So therefore, following that logic, ito, perfect information ito. Ito, sample information lang. So may error. Okay? Therefore, following that logic, para makuha ko yung value ng additional information from the survey or the sample, I will just subtract, okay? EVSI is just equal to expected profit, okay, with sample information minus the expected profit. Okay? So, tulad nung diniscuss natin kanina, itong EPPI na to, okay, this formula, ganun din yung EVSI. So, ang EVSI would now be expected profit using sample information minus expected profit nung base rule, yung 18.35. Okay? So, next meeting, I will show you, ito kasi, mako-compute natin ito, okay? Mako-compute natin ito from the decision tree, which I will show you next meeting. Okay? From the decision tree. So once we compute this, mayroon tayong EP, mako-compute natin yung EVSI. Once may EBSI na tayo, makukompute na natin yung ENGS kasi all we have to do is to subtract the cost. Ito yung sinasabi kong cost of acquiring information, CAI. Yung nag-charge sa inyo ng 3 million or 15 million, yun yung cost na ilalagay nyo dito. So if the cost is less than the value, go. If the cost is more than the value, don't get additional information anymore. So this one has to be greater than 0. Okay? So this will be the example that we will discuss next meeting with other examples pa. And then for ito, no, these 2 slides will be our examples for example that we will solve next meeting. And then that ends our lecture for decision theory. So for next meeting, you will see in your Canvas, may published na assignment na ako, no, assignment number 2. Yung assignment number 2, if you open that, dalawang numbers yon, number 1 and 2.